Hey everybody, thanks for coming by for another episode of Camping Gear TV, where the fun never stops. I'm Ben.
I'm Josh.
And today we are looking at a pair of water shoes, and we've looked at a couple in the past. These are a little different. Who are they from?
They're from Kigo, and just like Camping Gear TV, the fun never stops with Kigo. And that's spelled K-I-G-O, KigoFootwear.com. And I wouldn't necessarily call these a water shoe, even though they can certainly be used for that. Paddling, canoeing, any of that stuff is a great use for this. It's really just more of a all-around minimalist, lightweight shoe that can be really used for a lot of things. In addition to the water sports, these things can be used for light hiking, running, stuff like that. I know there's a big thing going on now, a big trend toward this whole barefoot running thing. You'll see all these different minimalist shoes that are almost like just wearing a sturdy sock.
The ones with the toes cut out in them. I forget the name of that shoe.
The 5 toes thing. Yeah. So, but with the Kigo, what they sent us here is one of their newer lines, and it's called the Edge. And the Edge is it's constructed to be good for the body, and but it's also made in an environmentally conscious manner, so that it's also good for the earth, right?
And good for the soul.
Yeah, good for the soul.
Right.
And the soul.
Right. Yeah, that's that was another wingman special right there. Where, man,
gangster,
I'm killing it.
So, why is it good for the earth? How do they make them? There's a lot of things that really go into this shoe. There's this material called Cycle Pet, like bicycle pet, cycle pet, that is basically recycled plastic jugs that are made into a sturdy fabric. These jugs are somehow woven and turned into a fabric, right? So instead of these jugs floating into the ocean and harming seals, they're turned into these shoes, right? Which is pretty sweet. Another thing about them that makes them environmentally friendly is the company behind them, Kigo. They don't even have a physical office. All their employees telecommute.
Really?
Yeah, so their carbon footprint and all that kind of stuff is
where do they make the shoes at? Just like in one of the dudes' basements?
I think they outsource the manufacturing, but they have no corporate offices.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right. And in addition to that, any of their shoes that maybe have a blemish and aren't suitable for retail sales, they donate those to charities. They use them as samples and promotions. So a lot of good stuff going on, and definitely a company that's doing a lot of good things for the planet and keeping it real. And
actually, even though these shoes were supposedly part of those seconds, I really didn't know where the blemish was in my shoe.
No, mine were fine, and they're very cool shoes. And I've been wearing them around a lot. I haven't gone running in them, but I've worn them enough to know that they are comfortable for being so minimalist, right? And I think that it's just a nice lightweight option for, if you're going to be out camping, if you're going to be out hiking, you can throw a pair of these in your pack. And, if you've been hiking all day and your feet are disgustingly sweaty and hurting, putting on a nice pair of these minimalist, lightweight shoes is going to take the load off.
Right.
And you're going to feel good about yourself.
Am I mistaken that these are also taking off in the karate and martial arts world as well?
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, that people who are into that sort of thing are just... You need something that you can be lightweight on your feet and quiet when you're on the prowl.
Yes.
But it's got a nice little sole still on the bottom that's heavy enough and thick enough where you're not going to damage your feet. So you can be on some decent terrains while still kicking and karate chopping your way to success.
Well, I've been out on the street lately, and the word on the street has been that these shoes have been spotted on Jet Li, Bruce Lee, and Bruce Banner.
Well, isn't Bruce Lee dead?
Oh.
Nonetheless, they're a really great shoe. I've used them on a couple float trips actually, and I believe that the actual material all around the shoe itself is waterproof, and what will not let water in.
Mm-hmm.
So when if
Yep.
for some reason you don't want to get your feet wet, obviously you're going to on a float trip, but if you're not wearing socks, you'll be able to keep your foot dry if you're
Yep.
stepping in water that does not
Right.
come up above the heel area. So that's just
Yep.
another really, really cool thing too. And they are lightweight, very quick shoe, and yeah, I think it is a real comfortable option when you're around, your campsite, and you don't want to have a shoe that maybe has a real heavy tread that you might track mud into your tent and things like that. The sole on here is not something where you're going to get a huge amount of debris and material caught in the sole and track that into your tent or your sleeping bag or anything like that.
It's a good point. When I was out last weekend camping, was that last weekend? I don't know. I spent some good time in these, and that's something I really almost took for granted, was that it was muddy when I was out there because it had been raining, and whatever. I didn't track a bunch of mud around with me.
Yeah,
so that's a good point.
Definitely
They're also stain resistant, which is something that I saw that I think was interesting. And I think that must have to do with that Cycletex material, I guess, something like that.
So
it cost $69.99 at KigoFootwear.com. Kigo is a company that's fairly new to the scene. I think they've been around 2 or 3 years or something like that. But they're coming out with new styles every year. I think they have 4 different styles or something like that, ballpark, on their site. They're showing up at more and more retailers and things of that nature. So I think there's different places you can buy them online if you look around.
Merrill better watch out. Merrill is scared. That's what I heard.
It's a little bit of a different shoe,
They're scared, Josh.
They're probably scared, but stay tuned. We've got some other cool stuff coming up with Kigo in a couple weeks that we're excited about, and in the meantime, we're just going to keep on pimping.
CampingGearTV.com.